Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, the Civil Air Patrol is considered to be part of the Total Force team. The NBAA continues to fight against user fees. Another air show accident takes a life. I'm Embry-Riddle Cross. It is August 31st, 2015, and this is Airborne Unlimited. Last week, ANN's Jim Campbell was fortunate to be at the CAP National Conference when General Mark A. Welsh announced the official recognition of the Civil Air Patrol as the fourth member of the Air Force Total Force team. The official recognition reflects CAP's key and continuing contributions to the Air Force mission, while working with the active, Guard, and Reserve components to provide the Air Force with a full spectrum of distinct and complementary capabilities. CAP members fly more than 100,000 flight hours per year in support of this mission, providing emergency services, aerospace education, and cadet programs for youth 12 to 20 years old, and will now be able to proudly call themselves airmen while supporting the Air Force mission. CAP National Commander Major General Joseph Vasquez commented about this recognition through a video posted on YouTube.
The Air Force senior leadership has long considered Civil Air Patrol to be part of the Air Force family, relying on us to support Homeland Security missions. While being named as part of the Total Force doesn't change much in the way we do business, it is a strong recognition of who we are and what we do from the highest levels of the Air Force.
We at ANN congratulate the Civil Air Patrol for this well-deserved recognition. The National Business Aircraft Association is calling on its members to contact members of Congress during this recess with a message that they should oppose any FAA reauthorization bill that calls for privatized air traffic control funded by user fees. In an email to ANN, NBAA's Chris Strong wrote, quote, "This is a critical time for our industry. Once Congress is back in session, any FAA reauthorization bill introduced that calls for a privatized air traffic control system funded by user fees will affect how you conduct your business," end quote. The email urged business aircraft operators to, quote, "join NBAA and lend us your voice so we can fight this dangerous proposal on your behalf," end quote. NBAA says potential consequences from such a bill could mean limited or no access to key airspace and airports. They expressed the concern that a privatized ATC system run by a self-interested board would favor the airline industry and limit the use of airports and airspace by general aviation aircraft. After the break, structural failure causes an airshow accident.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, NavCom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. It's been a tough few weeks for the airshow industry, and now this during a practice flight. Last Friday was the scene of a tragedy as Andrew Wright's Giles G202 suffered what appeared to be a complete structural failure and separation of the rear fuselage just forward of the junction of the horizontal and vertical tail surfaces. The accident occurred near Stewart International Airport in Orange County, New York. Wright apparently did not get the chance to bail out of the aircraft and was believed to have perished on impact. The Giles G202 is a very high-performance two-place home-built aerobat, usually powered by a Lycoming 200 horsepower engine. A&N's editor-in-chief Jim Campbell, who flew both the two-place and the single-place prototypes, said, quote, "This thing is a radical flyer in the right hands," end quote. Unfortunately, the Giles manufacturing operation, known as Acrotech Aviation, ceased operations nearly 2 decades ago. Each week, we share with you an online video that one of our viewers found especially entertaining. We call it our Aero Video of the Week.
Final liftoff and left.
Those pesky little drones flying around taking videos have become a concern, but the images taken by this drone will convince you that it may not be safe to go in the water. Search drone shark footage on YouTube. After these messages, could distracted piloting have led to an accident?
Now certified, Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B, ATX-100, and ATX-100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. The NTSB preliminary report on an accident which occurred on August 9th that fatally injured a private pilot. The only occupant stated the pilot had been sending text messages shortly before the accident. The report did not draw any conclusion regarding the texting. Bell Helicopter hosted the Secretary of the Air Force, the Honorable Deborah Lee James, last week at the company's global headquarters in Fort Worth. Secretary James was given a company overview followed by an update on the V-22 and V-280 programs. The FAA released a beta version of an iOS smartphone application called Before You Fly for testing by up to 1,000 unmanned aircraft users. The app, aimed primarily at model aircraft enthusiasts, provides information about location restrictions and flight requirements. The NTSB has released its preliminary report from a mid-air collision between a Sabreliner chartered by the U.S. Navy and a Cessna 172. Both aircraft were operating in visual conditions and communicating with the local control tower. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University will host the second annual Small Unmanned Aerial Systems Challenge at the National Champion Air Races in Reno later this month. The competition will take place inside a netted drone zone. Only experienced operators may participate. Well, that's our trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. Florida Institute of Technology has established the Buzz Aldrin Space Institute at the university. Opening this fall and led by legendary Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin, the institute will promote the settlement of Mars through research. Aldrin joins the university faculty as Florida Tech Research Professor of Aeronautics and will serve as Senior Faculty Advisor for the institute. The institute will support commercial and international development of lunar resources to support an eventual Mars settlement. Dr. Aldrin's concept is called Cycling Pathways to Occupy Mars. The proposed architecture establishes pathways of progressive missions to cislunar space, asteroids, Phobos, and eventually to the surface of Mars. Aldrin said, quote, "I'm thrilled to be partnering with FIT in my new home state of Florida. I am proud of my time at NASA with the Gemini 12 and Apollo 11 programs, but I hope to be remembered more for my contributions to the future. FIT will play a key role in my ongoing legacy and cycling pathways to occupy Mars." He added, "You ain't seen nothing yet." Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource.